Audio Jungle.
Today we're going to look at organic mulches for your garden, and the reason we mulch is one, it will add nutrients into the garden. So if you're going to be doing any new planting or any of your trees and shrubs, that will get regular nutrients. They'll suppress weeds, they'll help retain moisture into the ground as well, and they can also help against slugs and snails. Now there's two types. There's the organic types, which is a natural product which would naturally break down into the soil, and there's inorganic, so things like stones and landscape fabric. Those would really either be for decorative purposes or just to keep the weeds at bay. We're going to be looking at three different types of mulches today. The first one we're going to be looking at is bark. Now bark's really good for helping keeping the moisture in the ground, especially during the summer drier months, because it retains the moisture in the ground, it keeps it there. It's good for as a weed suppressor, so especially if you put a good amount down, that'll help for weeds. It also improves the structure of the soil and can help with drainage, especially if it's a very damp site. There's three types of bark. There's a mini chipped bark, there's a landscape bark, and there's a beds and borders bark. The mini chip bark I would tend to use more on children's play areas. It's a lot softer, it's a bit more of a cushion when it falls, but it will break down a lot quicker, so you may need to keep an eye on topping it up. The beds and borders bark is the general one that you want to use for mulching around plants. It's more evenly shaped pieces. And landscape bark is more varied shapes. You may get bits of small sticks and other pieces that are chipped, but they'll be all different shapes and sizes. The best one to use is the beds and borders bark. That's the perfect one for mulching around your trees and shrubs, and that will give them a really good start for the following season's growth. The next one we're going to be looking at is a straw mulch. This particular one is called Mulch. It's very good for retaining moisture. It's very good to use around definitely pots or containers or even beds and borders where you've got vegetables, because it's a great slug and snail deterrent, because they don't like this material, they don't tend to travel over it. So it's very good for using there, and it still again suppresses those weeds. And finally we've got the manures or compost you could also use. This particular one is a composted stable manure. It's one of my favourites. I use it all the time. It's great for adding around roses, even vegetable allotment sites ready for the following season for planting. It's great for retaining the moisture, adds loads of nutrients to the ground. It's a really good versatile one, and you might need to do a small top up in the spring again, and that will set you up ready for the season ahead.